Yo, what is up, guys? Jared here, and today I wanted to give you guys a little highlight of a match I played with the Sky Striker deck against a Salamangreat deck that I did on Dueling Book. I think it's important that I show this is because um, I do not play perfectly in this match, and I think it's important to recognize your misplays when you go back and you think about matches that you've played, whether it be in a tournament or at your locals or with friends. You need to find any misplays that you do, and I realized the misplays I made after I made them, and I didn't say like, oh, I'll go back and can we take it back? I just eat the misplay. It's fine. Um, so I think that this is a good highlight video of why you need to recognize the misplays because it could come up later in the match. And also, just like even if you open up unoptimal cards for a certain matchup, you can still make it work. So I'm gonna go through this match and just talk about as I go and where my misplays happen and how I incorporate them later into the match. Um, so, like I said, I'm playing against a Salamangreat deck. I know that. So he just goes Buffalo for Balinks to discard draw two and then pile desires. Play standard. So he goes into Will, into Wolf. He plays Mole. He's playing a lot of different cards in this deck that I actually like a lot. I like the Mole. I don't. It's not dead in your hand. It's not like Jack Jaguar or Falco. This actually will do something in your hand. It's an extender, and it has like a little 5 hours effect in itself. So I actually like that a lot about Mole. And he's playing another card too that you'll see later that I actually I'm actually a pretty big fan of when I read it. This one, this Beast Bison, where it's if you have three Salamangreat monsters in your graveyard, you special summon it. So if you go into Mole, into Balinks, or I should say any Salamangreat in the Balinks into your first Wolf, it instantly becomes live. Um, and then you can target Firelink monsters in your graveyard up to the number of face-up cards your opponent controls. Return the extract, then negate the effects of face-up monster your opponent controls up to the number of cards you return. So this can negate up to three face up, or really any number of face up cards your opponent controls. I find that really like a powerful effect, to be honest. Well, so right now, let's say I had two cards face up, like it can negate anything that I have, whether it be a floodgate or some kind of like interruption or monster effect. Like I don't know, I thought that was like a super like something different. And plus, it's also just big. It's 2000 attack, and you can special summon it off something like Will. I don't know. I like it. It's just another, like I said, it's another extender, and it's very easy to make it work. So we'll just keep going. Um, so yeah, he gets back Mole with Wolf because he doesn't have Gazelle going in his hand. Um, he makes Transcode and Transcode from back Wolf, so they can't be targeted, and they gain 500. So as you can see, I opened up a double Dark Ruler no more, which is very unoptimal against Salamangreat. I haven't done a lot of testing against Salamangreat with the Sky Striker deck, so this was actually very helpful for me. So yeah, like I said, I open up double Dark Ruler no more and a Mystic Mine, and I wouldn't say those are like optimal cards against the deck, right? Because they have Rage, and then like their monsters don't really do much. It's mostly about the back row. So like things like Lightning Storm would be more optimal in this matchup, but we can't always draw everything that we need. Um, so yeah, we still Dark Ruler this because we need to be able to get rid of the non-targeting effects of Transcode, and we don't care about the no damage. So yeah, we go 0 instead of the other Dark Ruler, and this is why I like some parts that like aspects of this deck. When you just have dead cards in your hand, you can just set them and then just like hit them with Area 0 or multi-roll, and it actually will get value out of them, even though they're literally dead cards. So yeah, ironically we see the third Dark Ruler, but we get into the Rose. This is why I said in the deck profile that I play 3 Rose, because in that hand I could not play. Like I had to space that food in my own Area 0, and then to get Ray, but we did get the monster off Rose. So we go normal Rose into Hayate, and then Hayate will dump Widowmaker, and then we Afterburner Transcode, and this is where my first misplay happens. Right when I do this, and it resolves, I forget to activate Rose in my graveyard, and this is very important because I needed to get Rose back so I can go into Zeke to banish this wolf so he does not have access to it on his own turn. That is very relevant, and I really, really was disappointed that I missed that because he wouldn't have been able to go into another wolf without a Jack Jaguar somewhere. Um, so yeah, that was definitely a big misplay. Um, and you'll see the result of why that hurt. So yeah, I go Kagari to bring back the anchor. He Valors it. Okay, that's fine. So I was thinking, I'm like, there's no way that like the Salamangreat deck can kill me, most likely. So I just go Shizuku and set MSD and pass. So he goes activate Will. I chain Mystical Space Typhoon. He goes Buffalo again, right in the Phalanx. Standard Salamangreat stuff. Brings like the Beat Bison. He just misclicked for that shuffle. Then he goes Circle for Foul. I think he banishes his Gazelle off the Desires in the beginning because we don't see it this game. He makes Heat Leo, then summons the Foul. Go into a second Heat Leo. He makes my Shizuku 0 attack. And then he kills me with the Topologic. Yeah. So after he was able to link climb much easier because this wolf was still here. So he wouldn't have been able to get to a link 4 as far as I'm concerned because he can't use the Salamander he added back off wolf in the beginning. So he was able to climb up into the Zero Burrows to be able to OTK me essentially, right? Because he's just gonna look at the amount of cards banished. He goes up like 22, and I can attack twice. Like I was dead either way. I didn't have Ray in my graveyard. So yeah, we lose that game. Game 2. I always choose for him to go first, by the way, because this is still going second deck at heart, and that doesn't change. So he goes first. He clearly bricks because he goes set 1 pass, and that's never optimal for Salamangreat. So like I said about Lightning Storm, it's always at worst it's a 1-for-1, and this is not 1-for-1. So yeah, I hit a face down Call the Haunted surprisingly, and then I just go pretty standard stuff. Send Fusion, normal Ray, activate 0, and then Ray 0, chain Ray. He just concedes immediately. Yeah, he just must have bricked very badly. So then we go to game 3, and then I want to show you the impact of a card that I showed in my deck profiles, which is Ghost Reaper. So as soon as he summons the Foxy, I just instantly drop the Reaper, because I want to get the Sunlight Wolves out of the deck. And you're going to see the impact of him not having Wolf in this match at all, because it really sets him back for his grind game, especially against a deck like ours, like Sky Striker, where your whole deck is grinding. When you don't have access to a card like Sunlight Wolf, it's just not fun. Like there's no way you can win. So he's forced to go into Hita and pass. He can't do anything else. There's nothing he can do. So I will say when I'm playing this deck, the hardest thing for me to remember is that Rose's effect in the graveyard. I forget it all the time. But like in this particular match, I learned, which is important at the very end, because it guarantees me a monster sometimes. So we always go Hayate because we need to get our main engine start going. So I'm thinking what the dumps. We dumped the second Widow Anchor. We knew he was playing Effect Veiler from game 1. So we tried doing the Kagari for the Widow Anchor, and he Veilers us again. We're like, okay, that's fine. We expected that. We had to be ready for these types of things. So we you could say we baited out the Effect Veiler and we just played around it. So we can take the Hita, because this gives him some form of recyclability. So if we can just force it to not be destroyed by battle or card effect, we can just link it off. He can't be able to get resources back, which is what we want. So as well, because look at that, he made like a pretty weak play turn 1, and that's all he has left. It was just 2 cards. So yeah, we just link it off, go right in the Zeke, just get rid of it, and then we go into Shizuku. And then during the end phase, we go Shizuku for Hornetrons. I think this was a misplay on my part. I think I should have went for what's it called? Shark Cannon. We didn't banish them off the Desires; they were in the deck. I think we should have went Shark Cannon and banish the Foxy. I think that was a misplay because I completely miss it for on his turn. And I get back the Anchor because on his turn he goes Circle. It's whatever, it's fine. He gets Gazelle. and then he goes Foxy, and I completely forget that was in there. Um, so he's able to destroy my multi-roll. And I feel like if I just hit that with the Shark Cannon, we would have been in a better position. But it's fine, no biggie. Like I said, we already hit the wolves, so like you know what, this is probably his last turn to play, right? Like that's how you have to see it. If he's only has 3 cards left, and I know one's Gazelle, he can't get any wolves back. So, well, my logic is if I can just get through this turn, it's probably over. So he brings back the Spinny. He tries using the Gazelle, and I told him that he can't do it because the Spinny was banished and sent to the graveyard. No biggie, no biggie. So he goes Phoenix. Doesn't use the effect of Phoenix. He just wants to get the trigger the effect of Gazelle. He summons the Gazelle, and I have to think about it because I want to make sure he doesn't dump any. I didn't want to dump Jack Jaguar and be able to start getting things back. So I opt to Widow Anchor the Gazelle, and I have to take it, so he can't Link Climb. So I just use him with the Phoenix and nothing essentially. He can't do anything else. I also was trying to make sure that the mole stays dead. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4. So if this Gazelle went to the graveyard, uh, he would be able to resolve mole, which would be a problem obviously. So he summons back the Bison. He still has 3 guys. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So he uses Bison's effect and targets the 2 cards to negate them. So now Shizuku's effect's inactive. He goes to use Phoenix to attack my Shizuku, and I opt to Chalice my Shizuku to put it up to 19. And then since they both get destroyed, I can then remember this time from game 1. Unlike game 1, I remember this time to use Rose to get a follow-up play for next turn. And that's very relevant because it lets me get more pressure and more advantage without using, in this game, in any card game really, but in this game like especially, the more that you can do with the least amount of cards is better. So if this Rose can get value out of itself in the graveyard and keep recycling without me having to dedicate more cards for a monster, that's obviously just better in any way, especially when it trades for one of his monsters. So yeah, I get back to Rose, and I'm pretty sure he just concedes right here because he can't do anything. There's no recyclability going on. Yeah, so we win the game there. But yeah, so like I said, I misplayed. I think it was 2 misplays in that match. Like I said, I wouldn't like. I'm very familiar with Salamangreat, right? It's more or less what I need to do with my deck to against Salamangreat. Like, what do I prioritize? Whether it be Shark Cannon, Widow Anchor, is it worth going for multi-roll, or do you just go for the raw back row? Those are like the 3 I would say major decisions that you have to do, and especially like what ways are they gonna OTK you or try to kill you, because that for Salamangreat it's pretty hard, right? Unless they're going for the Code Talker OTK. So if you have a way to like prevent that, um, it's I'm like not scared, I guess I could say, if I can stop that. But yeah, like I said, I made 2 misplays. One of them I corrected later in the match, which comes up a lot for me when I'm in like any tournament, like wherever I go for any event, whether it be a YCS or a regional. There's multiple times where maybe round 1 I do a misplay and then I correct it in like round 2 or 3, or like somewhere throughout the tournament, or even in that same match where like something happens to me, I misplay, or there's a misunderstanding and I mess it up, and then like game 3 that same thing happens again, but this time I know about it and it actually wins me the match because I know about it this time. So yeah, like just like you can be frustrated at stuff because whether you misplay or you miss something, but you can't just take it to heart. Pretty much, you have to be able to keep going and you know just like learn from it, like really learn from the experience and keep a clear head without like don't get tilted too easily, or else you're gonna start misplaying for other stuff. Then you actually be mad because then you can't take back the other stuff. So like, keep a clear head, learn from your mistakes, and just keep pushing forward. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I just wanted to highlight of like I'm not a perfect player. We all misplay, and I just wanted to show that you can still correct your mistakes in the same match, even if it's games 1 to 3, 1 to 2, or in the same tournament, and you just gotta keep a clear head. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video, and I will be back.